Here's an example of our gaming suede card slide. This is our old gaming suede, which we had for a while, but we're having some supply issues, so we've had to switch to something else. The biggest thing you'll notice on these cards, on this felt, is that you can take your cards and fan them out. You can take as many cards as you want and fan them out. On the new gaming suede, that's a little bit of a problem. Pitching on this felt is very easy. Keep in mind, this is the smooth side of the felt. We also have our fleece side, which is not as slippery, but it still does perfectly well. Now I'm just going to show pitching from the end of the table. Here I'm going to deal to the other side of the table from the end. This is an 8-foot long table. So people who have home games with players who are not typically very good dealers with a self-dealt home game, it's very important to have good card slide. So you can see on this felt, it's quite good. I do have to put quite a bit of wrist flick into the felt, but once you do, it does slide quite good. If I don't and I just shove it, it still goes decently, but it can come a little short. And that's what you'll notice with most gaming felts. This gaming felt isn't brand new. It's been used several times, but it's still, I would call it, in relatively new condition. Here we have our professional grade gaming suede. This is the smooth side. The rail for this table is not screwed down yet. I'm just using this for demonstration purposes. So you might see a couple of cards go underneath the rail. But you can see how little effort I am putting, how little effort I'm putting in to get the cards across the table. They just go so easy. So this felt is very, very slick. The downside is that when I try to fan out my cards, they don't really want to fan. They just want to stick to each other. The amount of friction between the cards is higher than the amount of friction between the cards on the table. So you can't really fan cards out very well. It's quite hard to fan any cards, especially a low amount of cards, a small amount of cards. So if you have a dedicated dealer for your table, what we recommend is that you burn a card and you just do one at a time. Here's the professional grade gaming suede on an 8-foot long table, fielding from the end. You can see the amount of rebound I had on that. The card slide really, really well. Very easy for me to pitch from one end of the table to the other. Just giving it a little shove with no spin still even gets them all the way to the end. This is our professional grade gaming suede on the back side of the table, which we call the fleece side. So this one is not as smooth as the other one. The cards don't slide as nice, but it is still quite soft, very nice to the touch. This is an 8-foot table. So you can see that dealing on this is absolutely no problem. Dealing the flop. No problem. The card slide on this is not as good as the other side, but fanning the cards is significantly better. This is the professional grade gaming suede on the fleece side, pitching from the end of the table on an 8-foot table. So as you can see, I can get it down there, but if you're not a very proficient pitcher, it can be a little bit harder to get there. So this one, I gotta really give it some effort to get down there. But just put it on the table and slide it, it doesn't usually make it all the way down.